I welcome you all this evening to our seminar on why you are not getting interview calls.
Right. So our topic for today is why you are not getting interview calls and how to fix it. And this is a topic that we have been planning for a while because we know it's very relevant. So this evening we are going to see a strategic guide to breaking through. So I'd like to start with a brief introduction about Impact Career Points, the organization that has brought all of us together this evening. So Impact Career Points, we are an organization that is dedicated to providing you career support at every stage of your career. So even before you start your career as a student, as a graduate, we are there to provide services that are tailored to help you even before you start your career journey. So our services are for students, we are also for graduates and professionals. So we offer career assessments, CV and cover letter, CV editing and drafting, including cover letter, interview preparation, then skills building workshops and career seminars, such as what we are having today. So our goal is to empower you to be a great professional. And the problem we seek to solve is to be the bridge between academic and the workplace, because we've realized that so many people are qualified on paper, but when it comes to the workplace, they do not have the job-ready skills that are needed at the workplace. So we provide you with tailored services, tailored employability training that would help you pick the needed skills to excel at the workplace. And we have a great program that we are starting from March called the Impact Job Club. And this is a very tailored program that seeks to provide you with mentorship, training, and placement support. We'll talk more about it as we dive into our session this evening. So let's look at the harsh realities of the job markets. Globally, the global unemployment rate is projected to remain at 4.9% in 2026. So the broader job gap is projected to rise to 408 million people, reflecting millions who want to work but cannot find a job or access decent employment. So unemployment is a global problem. It is a big thing and it's a global problem. When we come to Ghana, Ghana's unemployment rate stands at 13.1, and the employment to population ratio is at 61.2%. And this is very credible data. And this was a data gathered in 2024. And you know, data, it can span up to 2 years. So it is very recent. The key drivers and concern is that when we talk about youth unemployment, there are higher number of young people entering the job market, but we don't have the jobs that are matching the rate of people that are coming out of school. And this is a very big problem. When you talk of the structure of employment, there are concerns about the inability of formal job creation to keep up with the labor force expansion. So there is a critical problem when it comes to employment globally and even in Ghana. So that's the hard truth. But even then, it is also true that it is not always just about the job market. And it is not always the fact that we do not have connections. I hear so many people say, no, I am not getting a job because I don't have anybody to, connect me here. There's nobody to connect me to any job in this organization. There's nobody to connect me to a job at this sector. That is why I am unemployed. Sometimes it's about your strategy. The problem sometimes is the strategy. Many qualified candidates struggle to get interview calls, and the issue is often presentation, not qualification. On the average, a corporate job opening receives about 250 CVs. At least, even a small company, when it advertises a vacant position, they can get at least 30 CVs for one role. And out of that 30, only 4 to 6 candidates may get called for an interview for that role. So imagine the recruiter having to scan through 250 CVs for a role. How long would they be able to go through everybody's CV? So research has proven that the recruiters use just about 6 to 7 seconds to go through each CV that they receive for a role. And the question is that, will your CV make any impression for somebody glancing through 250 CVs to pause and look at yours? Will your CV give that impression for a person to pause to look at it? If there are dozens CVs that are being scanned through, what will cause a person to pause and to consider yours or select yours to be among the 4 to 6 that will be called for an interview? So this evening we are going to dive in. We are going to give you very practical, and I call it secrets that you would realize, oh, so this is the reason why I am not being called for an interview. This is the reason why I send so many CVs out and do not even receive a single. So let's look at it. So we are coming to talk about the 4 main roadblocks. Why are you being overlooked? The first is the robot rejection. I don't know how many of you have heard about ATS. ATS, yeah. So that's right, you're right. Applicant Tracking System, that is ATS. If it's ATS, it means Applicants Tracking System. So this is a software that scans your CV like a search engine. And this software has been programmed to work in a certain way. And this is a software that many large organizations are now using to help them to be able to select CVs that they would pick out to call people for an interview. We are cutting out, we are in the era of AI, we are in the era of technology. So we are cutting out certain functions that seems to be time wasting. So this software is what is being used by many companies to save some time. So we are going to look at how this software works. So this software is a software that has been designed in such a way that it picks out certain things, it recognizes certain things to determine whether your CV is good for the role, whether you are the right fit for the role. So the issue is that if your curriculum vitae or your CV is text heavy, the machine may not be able to read it. When I say text heavy, what does it mean? You have complex columns, graphics on your CV. You lack keywords. There are certain keywords that are lacking on your CV. or you have certain keywords that confuse the software, you are likely to be rejected. So ATS works like it's as if you are an examiner that is giving a score. So when it scans through CV, any CV that falls below 60%, it will just trash it out. It will also filter it out. So that is what it does. So I mentioned that there have to be certain keywords, right? So let me give you an example. So if you use fancy columns, graphics, or you just don't have the right keywords, the robots may think your CV is irrelevant and bins it before a human being even sees it. So if, for example, the company is looking for an IT officer, and in the job description, they state that they want someone who is specialized in Java. If on your CV you indicate that you are excellent in coding, the robots may not be able to connect the dots. So it can see it as you are not having the Java skill that is needed for the role. So the secret is that you have to mirror the exact language of the job post. If they use a certain word, you also have to use it. When we get to the fixes section, I'll give you a detailed insight on how to go about it. Let's look at the next report. So I named this the blah factor, the blah, blah, blah. You know, we've been saying blah, blah, blah means when you say blah, 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 it's like you're talking so much, right? So the blah factor, you can be blind a lot on your CV. So the duty sessions, your work experience, on your CV, you list duties. You list duties on your CV. So if your CV is full of phrases like responsible for or duties include, you sound exactly like the 250 other applicants. And what makes you special to be picked out? So you are describing a job description, but you are not telling a story of impacts. So let me give you an example. So on your CV, when we say list your job, your work experience, you have to ensure that you are not just listing duties, but you are showing achievements. So example, if you say responsible for a team is a duty you are listing. You can put it in such a way that shows that there has been some achievement. So you can say, let a team of 10 to exceed targets by 15%. It is always important to quantify. Let us always learn to quantify. You have to give specific results. And I know some of you tell me that, oh, and you are right if you say that. Because sometimes, most of the times, performance management systems do not work well in so many organizations. So your job description or your duties or your role is such that it's very difficult to at the end determine what percentage or what quantity you've exceeded and all that. But at least you can demonstrate the positives, let's say successfully completed this project, blah, 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 within this time. Hey, I'm also using the blah, blah factor. Okay, so you can still demonstrate that you have achieved whatever tasks that you've been given by how you structure your sentence and not just list the raw duties as it is on your job description when you were called for the role, when you were given the role. So don't reproduce the exact job descriptions on your CV. Try to show how you were able to achieve it. Try to show how you were able to handle the role. That's all we are trying to say here. So don't produce raw job descriptions on your CV. Try to show the achievements. Very important. And when you're able to do that, it even helps you during the interview. it becomes easier to describe how you are able to work effectively in the roles you handle. So let's move on to weak online presence. I don't know how many of us are on LinkedIn here. So I hope we are all on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has become like the professional online CV. I know we have so many. Social media is something that has become very useful in projecting us. Last month, we talked about personal branding. We learned a lot about personal branding. We learned about even personal branding and corporate image. And we even talked about how to dress and all that. We had a lot of fun last month with the topic we treated. And online presence is very important now. When we talk about branding, online is one of the key factors that we look at. So LinkedIn is a platform that a lot of professionals are on. So it becomes a marketing tool for you. So it is very important that you project yourself well there. Many recruiters would check your LinkedIn profile. So if your LinkedIn profile is incomplete, if it is outdated, there's no professional photo, it's going to work against you. And some recruiters even just type in keywords to see which people will pop up, depending on what they are looking for. So if you go to the LinkedIn, you see that there's a section that you are required to put in your skill. It's such that it will ask you to list your work experience or the positions you've handled. Then it will try to tell you to identify the skills in that position. And this is so key that even some organizations do it as a charge for people. If you join the job club, this is one of the things that will be treated on the job club. Will help you to optimize your LinkedIn goal. If you say optimize, it means put it together properly. So it would help you to do that. So I encourage all of you to enroll onto the Impact Job Club. So make sure that you have, so big online presence is the third roadblock. Then the next one is what I call the spray and pray. Applying for jobs without a strategy. So it is very important that when we apply for job, we are not just applying for just anything. Some people apply to every vacancy they see. They are asking for pharmacists. Your background is project management, they will apply. They are asking for human resource, it's a human resource vacancy position. Their background is accounting, they will apply. They meet nothing, they meet nothing, none of the requirements on what is being advertised, but they'll still apply. When you do that, you waste your energy a lot. You have to make sure that you'd look for vacancies that fits your portfolio or your qualification. When you do that, you have higher chances of getting through. So do not ignore the minimum requirements. Do not ignore the job specifications. Look through the job description and see whether the things they are asking for, you have the qualifications or you have the skills to perform it before you apply. Some jobs will give you the requirements very clearly. So it's a position, managerial position. They are looking for somebody that have 10 years experience. You are at the officer level. You have only 1 year or 2 years experience. You apply for that role. You yourself, if you look at this, what are your chances of being selected for that role? So let's apply for things that meet our requirements so that we do not waste so much of our energy and get discouraged when we are not getting called for interviews. Also remember to always attach a cover letter. I always advise, even when you are not asked a cover letter, please attach it when you are sending out the vacancy, when you are applying for jobs. Attach a cover letter. Don't just send your CV. Always attach a cover letter. If it's 50 people that have applied and none of them have attached cover letter, you that have attached yours, that may be the factor that separates you from the other people. And also, don't send the same CV to all job applications that you send out. Remember, we talked about the ATS, the applicant tracking system software. You have to design your CV according to the job description. So don't just have a generic CV that you keep on sending, no matter what the role is, no matter what they are asking for. As for you, it's just that one CV that you have that you are always sending. Some people use this resume. I know now there are a lot of free resume, tools. Someone was asking me, why are you people doing CV editing? We can edit our CV for free on the resume app. The resume app, yes, it can edit your CV for you, can draft a CV for you. But I always say it is whatever you feed it in, that is what it will produce for you. So garbage in, garbage out. And that is the reason for so many problems that we are having with our CVs now. Curriculum vitae is very traditional. So Ghana, most jobs will ask for curriculum vitae, CV. It's the US, Canada, they use a resume. And so if it is an international organization here that they're asking for resume, fine. But very few organizations will ask you for resume. Most of the time they ask you for CV. You go and put you use a resume app to do your CV. Then they will do it the US or Canada style for you. They'll put your picture there, they'll put this graphics there, they'll design it, and you're happy with beautiful CV. It won't so true. Because a CV is not supposed to even have a picture on it. CV has a very traditional format or structure, which does not require picture, does not require most of the colorful graphics and things that a resume will have. So if you go and design that, I received a CV the last time, and you can even barely read it. Then it was so small. The writings were very small. And these are what some of the free softwares will give you. So we know how to structure a CV. We know how it's supposed to be designed. We know what the ATS machine will accept. That is why Impact Career Points, one of our core services is CV drafting and editing. It is not because we don't know all these machines are there, but we know that we can get you what to get you to the interview room. So let's ensure that we do not have a generic CV that we send out for every job post, because I can assure you that a generic CV is a perfect match for 0 jobs. It won't get you anyway. So let's bear that in mind. So now let's look at how to fix it. How do we fix all the roadblocks that we have just indicated? How do we fix it? So let us ensure that we optimize our CVs for humans and robots. So the secret is optimizing your CV to match not just humans. Let's bear in mind that robots have also been given the job, or softwares have been given the job. So I want us to treat the job description like a cheat code. So you open the post, highlight the top 5 skills or requirements that they mention repeatedly in the job vacancy that you are seeing. Now look at your CV. Do those words appear? Do those words appear on your CV? So if they ask, that they want project manager, and you wrote led initiatives, change it, use their language, project manager, project management. So study the job description carefully and use relevant keywords on it. Also remember to avoid tables, avoid graphics, avoid complex formatting. Those things confuses software sometimes. Keep it simple. A CV is supposed to be simple, okay? So I would advise that you use fonts such as Calibra, the Arial, the New Times Romans, and always save your CV as a PDF when forwarding it. Always send a CV in a PDF format. Why is this necessary? It is very necessary because Microsoft's applications, when you leave your CV in Microsoft Word, depending on the version of software, Windows software that person is using, sometimes it can change the whole format of the CV. It can make it look very horrible and out of place. But PDF keeps it in the original format that you send it. That is why it is advisable to always send your CV as a PDF. Also remember to use standard headings. And a traditional CV would use headings such as work experience and the work experience session. So a typical CV would have the title, curriculum vitae to show it's a CV. Then we would have personal details. After personal details, we have career objective, or some people say professional summary. Then we could have core skills and competences, then your educational background, then work experience, then the hobbies come, then any other thing, leadership experiences that you've held can come. Then you end it nicely with reference. Okay. If Impact Career Points is the one preparing the CV, we normally bring the core skills and competencies if the person is not having too much work experience, so that at least the recruiter will read the skills first. If the person is having a lot of work experience, we normally send it at the lower parts after the work experience. So these are all techniques that are very important that the resume app will not do for you. So let a professional handle your CV for you to get it right, okay? So let's keep in mind that we have to copy phrases from the job description into the CV so that the robots would realize that we have the relevant skills that the role is asking for. Very important. Then let us remember to quantify our wins. Quantify your wins. I want us to adopt something we call CAR, have it in mind, CAR method. When you are structuring your work experience side, just figure it out. Am I bringing out the challenges, the action, and the results? The most important part is the results. Make sure that you always show the results of whatever work you handle under your work experience. So don't just list the work experiences. Try to quantify the outcome, try to quantify the achievement part for it to come out clearly. So the use of numbers, the use of percentages is very important. Or just give a good description that shows that you are not just listing the raw job descriptions, but you are also showing the achievements that you've done. Okay, you are also demonstrating your achievements. So, for example, don't just say responsible for social media. You can say increase engagement by 40% in 6 months by implementing a new video strategy. And here again, somebody asked me, what if I wasn't giving KPIs in my former work? Still make sure that you are able to document you yourself for your own good. always document your responsibilities, write things that you've achieved every time. At the end of every month, try and list things that you have achieved yourself, so that at the end, when you are preparing a CV, it is easy to produce those things. Then let's remember to strengthen our brand. Very important, so important. There's no other word to describe it than important. Optimize your LinkedIn profile, very important. So how do we do that? You can share insights in your field on your LinkedIn. You try to build strategic metrics. If you are very active on LinkedIn, you see that LinkedIn would by itself try to connect you to certain people. It will be looking at your role and try to connect you with people relevant in your role. It does that a lot. So when your LinkedIn is well optimized, it will link you to strategic connections that will help you build your brand. Then also attend professional events, and when you do, share it on LinkedIn. Share those things on LinkedIn. Very important. Then practice warm applications. I don't know if you know what it is. You could send, we have what we call cold applications. That's when you just see a vacancy, then you send the CV to apply for it. It's a cold application. So I'm coming to teach you what we call warm application. So instead of just applying through the cold way, what you have to do to practice warm application is that when you apply for a job, okay, go on LinkedIn, search the company, search for certain key people within the company, go to the company's website and just take a look and see if most companies would have a place where they would have the staff, the key staff over there, at least their name or pictures. Look at it. Then go to LinkedIn and search for some people. Then send them a short, polite message. So I'll give you an example. So let's say you have applied for a job in a certain company. Go and look for the HR person, HR manager in the organization on LinkedIn. Then you can send a short message like, "Hi, my name is Ruth Mensah, and I just applied for the role of project officer. I admire the company's recent project on energy saving. I'd like to connect and learn more about the team culture." And that is a great message. What does this do? It will play a psychological effect on whoever receives it, whoever reads it. Let's say the person doesn't even respond. And at the end, they are scrolling through the CVs. If the person sees Ruth Mensah, the message will click back. Ruth, this lady sends me a message. Yeah. That could be a reason why your CV will sail through. Okay, let me add Ruth's CV to the CVs that are being selected for interview, so that I'll meet Ruth to see whether she really meets our expectation. So this is something that could get you into the interview room. Once your CV is passing through the person's desk, the name will click up because you have practiced warm application. So let's not just send out CVs. That's why sending out a lot of CVs for any role, you miss out some of these things. Make sure you send out CVs to for roles that you meet the requirements. Then spend some more time to practice warm applications so that your CVs would have a chance of landing on the interview table. Okay. Yeah. Then also apply strategically. It is very important to apply strategically. I've said it already. Always ensure that your CV meets at least 70% of the job requirements. So customize each application, follow the instructions carefully, then track your applications. Now, certain jobs will tell you what to do. They will give you guidelines as to how you should send the CV. They'll tell you what to put in the subjects. So they'll tell you apply or send application, say application for project officer. Write that as the subject when sending the CV. If you ignore that instruction, you may find yourself wanting, because there's a reason why they are giving that instruction. For all you know, it is the ATS software that is going to sieve out the applications for them. And that is how they have coded it, for it to find those that are applying for the role. If you go and write something else, that's the sub, so they say put in, they've specifically given the instruction that puts in there that application for project officer, then you did not read that or you ignored it, then you put in the subject, find attached my CV or CV of Ruth Mensa. The software will not pick it. The software will not see your CV. So it's very important to follow simple instructions that they give to you. Follow it. It might be for a reason. So it is a reason why your CV might also not be selected. So your CV may be good. If you don't follow the instruction that they give you, you may miss out at the end. Then also track your applications. Some people send so many CVs out that and then they're even confused. They can't tell which companies are calling them and all that. They have an interview, they don't even know. Some people can get to the interview room and they are so confused which role they have even called them for, because they've applied for all kinds of things. So they are confused. So which role have I come for? They come and they actually, instead of finding out before getting to the interview, they never found out, whether they are shy to ask or I don't know. Then they get to the interview room. Why are you here? Then they don't know. It's like, I was called for interview. For which role? Please, I don't know. I sent out some applications. Just disqualify this. So please, let's bear that in mind. Track your applications. It is very important. So I have an assignment for you. The assignment is that review a sample job description, identify 5 key skills required, then match them to your CV. Let's practice this before we apply for our next job. Let's practice this. Identify 5 skills required, then try and match it to your CV. And I told you this is a good trick to get your CV selected by the ATS software. So please, let's practice this. Okay. So I would like to touch a little bit about the impact of lab. I mentioned this at the beginning. So from March, we are having a very interesting program. I am so excited about it. In fact, my team is excited about it. We are ready and we are happy because we know it's going to be a great program. So this is a supportive program that has been structured to help you to be job ready, to have employability skills, and to match your applications to relevant jobs and support you in getting a job. So these are the 3 core things we are going to do in the club for 6-month cycle. We are going to help prepare your CV, help take you through a career assessment to clearly understand your career path. And we are going to help you if you are preparing for an interview. We are going to give you assistance in all those areas. Then we are going to have a series of skills training, employability skills training in very critical areas. Then we'll match your CV to job vacancies, ensure that it is ATS friendly and supports you with your placements. To be a basic member is 350, premium member is 750 Ghana cedi. We had an early bird, but the period has passed. So to join, but believe me, whatever you get out of this amount is even too small, too small. So basic membership 350, premium membership 750. and within a period of 6 month cycle, I can assure you that you would see a change in your life. So what the job class offers: CV review and optimization, career assessments, linked in profile enhancements, interview preparation sections, would have a series of professional training sections, job search accountability support, career mentorship, and guidance. Why join the IPA Job Club? This is a structured job search strategy for you. The job club is a structured job search strategy. So for those looking for a job, this is where you have to be. We are going to provide professional feedback, networking opportunities, confidence building, so that when you go to the interview, you don't go and shiver and shake and not sell out yourself for. You speak confidently and get that job because you deserve it. Then higher interview success rate, of course. And I would like to mention that the Empa Job Club is not just for people searching for a job. It is also for professionals that want to grow in their professional career. We would help you have clarity, and I mean clarity about what's next. Would help you plan, draw a career plan appropriately to know what is the next step to move to in your career. So it is for professionals as well. So take action today. We want you to stop applying blindly. We want you to start positioning yourself strategically. We want you to join the Impact Job Club, and your next interview starts with preparation, right? Yeah. So the final takeaways: keep in mind that your CV is your marketing tool. Your CV is your marketing tool. So visibility plus strategy will lead to interview calls. Let me mention it again. Visibility plus strategy will lead to interview calls. So if your CV gives you that visibility, plus the strategies that we have just outlined tonight for you, you'll surely get your interview calls. So be intentional, be strategic, and be professional. Thank you so much for your time. So I think we can now take some questions. So Esther, if you are there, kindly read out the questions. Esther, are you there?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'll stop the screen and read out the questions.
All right, so
Yeah.
Someone question is that, assuming she's been trained in a new skill without experience, can she apply for a job?
Okay. Okay. So even if you are a recent graduate, you can still apply for a job. And I love this question. This is a question that if we have our talk shows in the university, we get a lot. So one advice I have for young graduates is that, or young people still in school, is that please you can still build your skills whilst you're in school. Internships are very important. Sometimes you are given long vacations when you're in the university for a purpose. They want you to take your internships, and they even support you with letters to actually go and take these internships. Take advantage of it. Use those periods to get into the corporate world. Do some 1 month or 2 months with an organization and learn certain skills. At the end, you can put that on your CV as your work experience. Also volunteer on projects, volunteer in groups, volunteer on things that are going on in your community. or that you see certain organizations doing. Those volunteer experiences are things that you put on your CV. And I always say that even if your grandmother makes bread and you help her to go and you help her with the bread baking, that is also a work experience. Know how to put that nicely as an experience and put it on your CV. So those are certain things that you can indicate on your CV. And always be ready to learn, attend seminars, and gather a lot of skills. So, as I mentioned earlier, impact career points. If we are putting together a CV for a young graduate, we have a way of doing it. We normally start with the skills and competencies so that that one will be displayed first before we come down to the work experience. So there's still no excuse. You can still gather some skills. You can still gather some work experience to indicate on your CV, even when you are a recent graduate. So just bear in mind that take the internships, take the volunteer experiences very seriously so that you are not wanting, you are not found wanting with regards to what you do on your CV. Yeah, thank you. Next question.
All right. So the next question is, somebody said he has applied for a job and there's a specified location and he is not in that location but still interested in the job. So should he lie that he's in that location? And also, he also said that concerning the experiences, you were saying that we should give results rather than like listing the rules. He wanted to find out, since there are no KPIs in measuring performance, how would you be able to list all those things?
Thank you for the question. So, with regards to the job that they are indicating that they want people living in a certain area and you're interested in the job, but you don't live there. So should you lie? Don't lie. Lying doesn't help. And the truth is that the organizations put those things there for a purpose. You see some job vacancies, then the requirements you put that the people should live around, let's say they want people living around Osu or its environs. It's for a reason. Probably the role is such that they require the person to be very early at the workplace. Or probably the work is such that you close very late. So they want you to live around so that it is easy for you to come in and easy and not so burdensome if you are living late. Okay, so if you go and lie that you live at Osu, whilst you live at Kaswa, you find yourself wanting if you are given that job. Because at the end, if you end up closing late, how are you going to get to Kaswa at the time that you are closing? Or it requires you to be very early at work. Will you be able to get that early at work every day? And probably the organization is factoring in the transportation allowance. Maybe the transportation allowance is not that huge. So they don't want somebody living so far so that, the transportation allowance is not adequate for the person. If you play gimmicks and you get that rule, bear in mind that these are factors that will hit you. So you can't complain at the end. They have made it clear to you. So what's our advice is that if you go through the interview, you can let them know that, or if you are called and they're asking, oh, you can tell them, no, you don't live there, but you are ready to relocate. And be genuinely ready to relocate. So if you are ready to relocate, then that's fine. You can let them know that you are currently not there, but you are very ready to relocate to that area so that you can handle the road. I think that will be more appropriate. If they think they can go by that, then that's great. Yeah. The second question concerning how to quantify the achievements using the percentages and using the number and all that. I think in the presentation, I acknowledge the fact that not many organizations or not all organizations may have a good performance management system to be able to track the duties that you do by the achievements and by the percentages and all that. But personally, try and be recording certain things that you do so that at the end it is easy to put it together on your CV. And also, even if you are not using the percentages and all that, there should be a way of still, through the phrases, how you use the phrases on your CV to demonstrate an achievement rather than just listing the raw job requirements or duties on the CV. Yeah. Next question, please.
Okay, so one person also says that assuming you go to interview and they ask you, are you married? Or you ask whether you've done your own business before. Was it profitable?
So the truth is that
Or what will you do?
thank you. I think I got it clear. So the truth is that in HR, in some countries, they are very strict, that there are guidelines to how interviews should be conducted.
You go to interview.
Esther, I heard you. I got it. Are you adding something else, please?
No,
Okay.
please.
Okay. So I was saying that in certain countries there are guidelines to how interviews should be conducted, and I think Ghana too, we are coming there. The Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management is coming out strong, and it's coming out with guidelines on so many things. So I believe that we will get there soon. But in some countries, such as the US, there are strict guidelines on how interviews should be conducted. So there are certain questions that it is a no-no to ask during interviews. And are you married is one of the questions that in US it will be considered as a discriminatory question, you know, and the organization can be sued for asking such a question during interview. But on the lighter side, over here, I know so many people throw it during interviews, and I don't blame them. Either it's out of ignorance, because sometimes how interview panels are constructed, they are just picking, supervisors for that role that's being interviewed. They are picking in certain people with certain roles within the organizations that may not necessarily have interviewing skills. So they come in and they don't have much knowledge. So they end up just throwing certain questions in there. I believe just study the nature of the question, look at the mindset behind that question, and try and clarify it's based on the mindsets of the person you are perceiving. So are you married? Yes, be truthful about it that you are married. If there's a follow-up question that so wouldn't the marriage affect the work, you say no, you've been married for this number of years and you've handled this and this role and you've handled it very excellently. So it is not a problem at all. So you could clarify any doubts regarding such things if it is being asked for that reason. Regarding whether you've handled a job before and whether it's profitable, also study the mindset behind that question. Because some organizations would try to find out whether you are into any personal business because of conflicts. Some organizations do not want personal businesses that conflict with whatever they are doing. Some organizations, so maybe the person is trying to find out whether you have a business that is conflicting with what they do, Or probably they just want to see whether you've handled the business before, whether you understand how profits are generated, to see whether you are fit for that role. So based on the mindset that you think is behind that question, then you respond appropriately. Yeah. So, but I advise that in everything, just be truthful. Any question that you are asked, just be truthful, but respond intelligent. Yeah. Esther.
Okay, so Madam, I have two questions left. So one is someone want to find out if it is possible that a cover letter, the paper on which it is printed should be designed. The background, there should be a design on the paper. And then someone also said that assuming you have applied for a job, but the company has not been indicated, how then will you do research to know what the company is into?
Okay. All right. So a cover letter, I know we print on A4 sheets, which is normally plain if we are applying for a job. In the same way, the Microsoft Word is always a plain white sheet, just like a plain A4 sheet. Don't put any designs of any sort at all on it. A cover letter is not a cover page of a proposal. No, it is not. It is not a project to a proposal that you design the cover page. No, in job application, it should be very plain. Just use the plain white sheets in applying for a job. No need to design it in any beautiful colored design at all. This is not professional to do that. And with regards to the tracking of applications and whether if an organization calls you, how do you know? So many organizations prefer to be anonymous during the job vacancy stage. They prefer to not, some people even don't use the company's email. They use a normal Gmail because they don't really want you to track the organization and all that. So some organizations or most organizations prefer to do that. But I can assure you that if your CV passes through to the next stage where you are being called for an interview, they would respond to whatever question that you ask them. I don't know which company will call you for an interview. Then you ask them which company and they tell you, no, we can't tell you which company. No, I doubt any company will do that. So once you pass the stage where you are selected for the interview, when you are being called for an interview, feel free to find out all those details. Feel free to ask that, please, which organization is this? And feel free to ask that, please, which role am I being interviewed for? And can I please have the job description if you don't have it? Get the job description. If you are not sure where to find it from the application that you did, that's why I say always track the application. So there's a format that a sheet that we give out in Impact Career Points to help track applications, and we'll use that during the job club meeting. So you have to list the organization, their email at least, their number if you have it, put in the role that you applied for that organization, and put the job description safely somewhere. So that when you are called for that role, you can go back and track the job description. If you don't have it, please ask them. Tell them that, please, can I get the job description? And ask again for the role, ask the name of the organization, so that you can go to their websites and properly read about them, properly study the organization and what they are into, and get a very clear idea of what they do. Then if you get the job description, please go through the job description again and understand what the role is about. Have a very clear idea about those two things before you go in for the interview. Don't go in for the interview confused what role you are even going for, having no idea about which organization that have called you and what they are into, and having no clear idea about the role or the job that you've been called and you are being interviewed for. Those can be very dangerous for you. So please get those three things very clear before you go in for a job interview. If they don't give you, if you don't get any clear thing during the stage when you are sending your CV, don't bother, don't be worried. Once you are called in for the interview, you would be given the details. Make sure you demand for it if they don't tell you, so that you have everything before you go for the interview. Thank you. I hope I have answered all the questions that you have asked to your satisfaction. I hope I have done a good job at the questions. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you to Madam. Yes, thank you so much for the insightful and the engaging presentation. God bless you so much. We are very grateful, and then we pray that from when we write our application, we to do as you taught us this evening. God bless you.
Thank